Today's Mishna Brura, we're going from chapter 89, paragraph 3. Asur lo lehit asek betzrachav. It is forbidden for him to engage in his needs, or lelech lederech, or to go on the way, ad sheyitpalel tfilat shacharit, until he will daven the prayer of, tfilat shmona esrei, until he will daven the prayer of the Amidah. So don't go on your trip or any of those kind of things before you have davened in the morning. Go into your emails, everything else, engage in your business. We'll see more details in the Mishna Brura. V'yesh mekilin, the Ramah says, there are those mekilin, lenient. Le'achar she'amru miktzat brachot. After they have said some brachot, kodem, before she'amru baruch she'amar, before saying baruch she'amar. Since once you've already gotten into baruch she'amar, then you're already in the middle of prayer and you shouldn't be doing other stuff. But if you're saying some of the brachot before baruch she'amar, so you have done some prayer, but you're not in prayer, so that would be better according to this. And then he continues, v'tov lehachmir bazeh, and it is good to be strict in this. In other words, somebody has not yet done, if they've done the Amidah, they can go do whatever they want. They haven't yet done the Amidah, so they haven't done any prayers, and then they mustn't do anything that they want. If you've done some of the prayers but not yet the Amidah, some are lenient, it's good to be strict. In other words, if you want to be lenient, you can be lenient, but he recommends that people are strict. V'lo le'echol v'lo lishtot, and do not to eat and not to drink. Aval, however, mime water, and it is permissible to drink before prayer. You're allowed to drink water. Whether it is during the week or whether it's on Shabbat, we'll see exactly the difference, but basically it'll be around Kiddush. And so too, food and liquids. L'rafua, for healing. Mutar, that is permissible. In other words, the doctor says you need to take this medicine first thing in the morning, and you can't eat it on an empty stomach or anything like that. So then you're eating for healing, that is permissible. Then in number 4, Machaber says Hatsamei, one who is thirsty, Vehara'ev, and one who is hungry. Hareihem bichlal hacholim, behold, they are included in the sick. Cholim, sick. If he has the ability, lachavein, to concentrate, to focus, da'ator, his mind, yitpalel, then he should pray. Ve'im lav, and if not, if his hunger or thirst is actually preventing him from davening properly, im ratza, al yitpalel ad sheyochal ve'yishteh. If he wants, he should not pray until he eats and drinks. So it's up to him. If a person is hungry and thirsty, but it's actually not going to disturb his focus in prayer, then he should pray. If he's hungry and thirsty, but it will disturb his focus in prayer, then he has the option whether to eat or whether to pray. Now, the Mishna Brura says, lehit asek, so he shouldn't get engaged in doing his own things. V'kodem or haboker, before the light of the morning. Sharei, it's Aramaic, permissible, permitted. La'asot malacha, you're allowed to do work. So before it's daytime, you're allowed to do work. In other words, you're woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning and sunrise is only at 5:30. So we don't say, well, you've got to sit on your hands for an hour and a half. You are allowed to then do that work because you couldn't pray even if you wanted to. The problem here is prioritizing other things over prayer. V'katav Eliyahu Rabbah, the Eliyahu Rabbah wrote, D'mikol makom, nevertheless, ein la'asot shum inyan ad sheyivarech seder habrachot. You should not do anything. Inyan literally means idea, but we use it here meaning thing. You should not do anything until you make the blessing of the brachot. Upashut, and it is obvious or simple. The kavanator, his intention, what he means is, what does he mean you shouldn't do anything until you've said the brachot? His intention is b'chatzi sha'a shesamuch la'oboker, the half hour that is close to the morning. In other words, once it's almost time for shacharit, so we don't want you to start doing something else that you're then going to be doing for an hour and a half. What we do want is that you would that if it's that half an hour before prayer, okay, so at least say brachot before you go forward. But if it's an hour and a half before prayer, then certainly you can pray and you don't need to worry about it. Bitzrachav, to get involved in his needs, umi sheyesh lo avadim ivrim or meshartim shetzar shem shuhu, and somebody who has servants, Jewish or another kinds of servants, that he needs that they should serve him. Shem shuhu, they will serve him. Okay, Jewish servants or employees. Yazhireim, he should caution them. Right? Like in other words, instruct them. Yazhireim mi be'erev shebekumam, from the evening, that when they get up, bekumam, when they get up, mi mitatam, from their beds, yirchatzu yadayim, they should wash their hands, ve'yavarchu habrachot, and they should say the blessings, ve'yikru parsha achat shel Shema, and they should read one paragraph of the Shema, ve'achar kach yachol la'asot tzrachav, and afterwards they are able to serve his needs. So a guy has, a manservant who helps him with all the things in the morning, and then they'll both go to shacharit. So this manservant's now getting up for work, so you should make sure to wash and everything else, and then go. V'chol zeu mimidat chasidut. And this is all from the measure of piety. In other words, this is all beyond the letter of the law. Aval midina, but from law, ein kapeda. There is no strictness, there's no particularity. In other words, it's okay if he doesn't. If he gets up and and does and helps you and whatever else before he said the brachot, that's okay. But it's better if he does. You shouldn't go on the road. Even before mincha mariv, if their time has arrived. So it's not just in the morning that you shouldn't start a journey before davening. It's even in the afternoon or evening that if it's time for mincha mariv and you haven't davened mincha mariv, that you shouldn't go on your journey. Dinam kamo korem shacharit. Their law is like before shacharit. Ad sheyitpalel, until you pray. V'afilu im b'makom sheyavo, even into the place that you will come. Yeh yachol gam ken litpalel. He will be able also to pray im hatzibur, with the community, bizmano, in the time. Avo piken aso. So in other words, the guy's saying, look, I'm going for a drive. 3-hour journey to another community, and when I get there, so I'll daven there, and I'll do that within the time of prayer. Afal pikain, nevertheless, asur, that is still forbidden. De halicha b'derech, because going on the road, havei ko'osek b'tzrachav, is like getting involved in his business. Aval ach kol zeh shelo b'shat harchak. But all of this is not in a time of pressure. In other words, all of this is where you have options. When you have options, you should always make sure to daven first when you are in the place that you are before doing all these things. But in time of pressure, that the caravan is not mamtenet, waiting for him. In other words, you're catching a plane or whatever. You can go earlier on the road, and then you can pray on the way. As we'll see later in paragraph 8. And it is implied, meharbe poskim, from many halachic authorities, even if it is already sunrise, gam ken mutar bazeh. This is also permissible if they're waiting for you. They need to go. So the time for prayer has arrived. It's not that you're starting early or whatever. The time for prayer actually has arrived. Nonetheless, this is the way you're going to get where you're going, so you can pray on the way. B'shat harchak, in a time of pressure. Don't eat or drink. V'ha'over al zeh, someone who transgresses this. Someone who does eat and drink when he shouldn't be. Amru Chazal, our sages said, Chazal means our sages of blessed memory. Sages of blessed memory said, Shalav Amar Katuv, regarding him the verse said, V'oti, and me, Hishlachti achar gavecha. They have thrown, Hishlachta, you have thrown after gavecha, your back. You've thrown behind your back. We've, so to speak, thrown Hashem away. The main thing is, we should eat or drink. Oh, we should daven also? Okay, I'll see if I have time afterwards. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the blessed one, the Holy One, blessed is he, said, La'achar she'achal v'shata v'nitka'a, after he has eaten and drank and nitka'a, become haughty. Kibel alav malchut shemaim, he has accepted upon himself the kingship of heaven. Oh Hashem, when I'm ready, you'll be the king. V'gam hiskimu divreihem, and they also, hiskimu is literally agreed, but it means here it's like supported. Their words, ala pasuk, when the verse said, open quotes, lo tochlu al hadam, do not eat over the blood. So that's a verse that's specifically referring to korbanot, a specific law when it comes to the offerings. But he's saying, lo tochlu kodem shehit palalu al dimechem. Do not eat before you have prayed for your blood. In other words, blood is life. And even ti'ima, taste, ba'alma, Aramaic word for olam, means, generally in the world, right? Ba'alma, in the world. Even just generally a taste, even just a little taste is forbidden. Mayim mutar, to drink water is fine. Why? It's not relevant about water that I will become haughty. I'm feeling so great about myself. I'm so successful. I've had my glass of water. You could say with some fancy brand of coffee, you could maybe say that. Guy's sitting having a brandy before davening. But to have water, it's not going to be a problem. V'davka b'lo tzukar, and it's specifically without sugar. Aval im tzukar asur, but with water it would be forbidden. V'koshikein mashke sheichar, and how much more so the drink called sheichar, shekorin beer, which we call beer. I'm not going to translate that. Vadai asur, certainly that's forbidden. V'tei v'kafe, and tea and coffee. Mutar lishtoto kodem tefillah. You are allowed to drink it before prayer. Kadesh yuchal lechavein da'ato litpalel. In order that you'll be able to focus your mind and pray. Ubifrat b'makom gilin behem. Especially in the places where they are accustomed to these things. And some places, everyone drinks tea or coffee when they get up in the morning before they start their day. So you can do that before prayers as well. Vein midyasheva da'at biltam. And the mind is not settled without them. But all of this is without sugar and without milk. But the world is accustomed to be lenient to drink with sugar. So he's saying if it was up to him, he would say drink it without sugar, but people drink with sugar, so he's not making a fuss about it. It is possible that the intention of the later authorities, v'chena Radbaz, and so to the Radbaz, shekatav di'im tzukar ein lacha gava gedola mizu, that the Radbaz wrote, with sugar there is no greater arrogance than this, mizeh kodem tefillah, when you before prayer, rak im noten tzukar b'toch hatei lematko, only if he puts the sugar in the tea to sweeten it, dezeu asur kodem tefillah, that is forbidden before prayer. Aval im lokeach me'at tzukar b'fiv, but if you take a little bit of sugar in your mouth, but at the time of drinking, without this you can't drink the tea, that's not arrogant. So he wants to differentiate. I would imagine that societal norms would come into that. What comes out from our words, putting the sugar in the tea, or eating some targima, basically snacks, at the time of drinking, in order not to drink the tea or coffee on liba, lave, heart, reikana, from reikan, empty. I don't want to drink it on an empty stomach. There is no side to be lenient on this before prayer. Except for somebody who has a weakness of the heart, and he needs this for healing. Nevertheless, it's better to say at the beginning, al kol panim, in all circumstances, at least Parshat Shema Yisrael, at least there's Parshat Shema. So even if you're going to have it, so okay, at least say Shema first, again, that you're saying you're accepting the yoke of heaven in some way, that we're not only talking to Hashem after we're already feeling full and good about ourselves. Kata b'sefer Pitchei Tshuva Chadash. It is written in the book Pitchei Tshuva, the new one. Yesh limnoa milishtot hatei b'boker. You should hold back from drinking tea in the morning. Kodem hatfilah, before prayer. Be'asefat chaverim, in a gathering of friends. Don't have a tea party. Ein shantamo, take a look there. Umilvad ze, apart from this, ragil lehista'ef mize yisra acher. It is common lehista'ef, to branch from this another prohibition. Dalo katav Rashba is written in the Rashba. Vuva Beit Yosef is brought in the Beit Yosef. Delakach asur lo la'adam la'asok bechefetzav kodem shitpalel. This is why it is forbidden to a person to engage in his desires before he prays, in order that he does not turn his heart to any matter until he prays. V'chein katav b'Shulchan Aruch Sof Sut Bet. And so too he writes in Shulchan Aruch at the end of number 2. Shehu asur lihitakev b'dvarim acherim. He is forbidden to delay in other matters, klal at all, ad sheyitzpalel until he prays. Varigilin ba'sifat chaverim ba'et shtiatatei. And the ones who are frequent in their gathering of friends at the time of drinking tea, ragil lifamim alidei ribui hashtia, are accustomed at times, lifamim at times, alidei ribui hashtia, through the sicha, through the increase of chatting, la'avor alidei zeh gam zman kriyat shema utfila, to transgress through this also at times for shema and davening. B'Shabbat. Now, even on Shabbat, you are allowed to drink water before. Klomar, to say, the Lord tema. Do not say. That's Aramaic for say. The Shabbat asur belav hachi. On Shabbat, it's forbidden without this. Mishum da asur lit'om kodem kiddush. Because it is forbidden to taste before kiddush. Kamash malan. Kamash malan, Aramaic phrase, comes to teach us. Important phrase. Kamash malan. De'enu asur, it's not forbidden. Rak davka b'shegir zman kiddush. Only davka when it arrived the time for kiddush. When it's time for kiddush and you're not making kiddush, then we're in trouble. But this is still before. V'hacha kevan shelo yitpalel. And here, since he has not prayed, lo higia adayin zman kiddush. It has not arrived yet the time for kiddush. The achar tfilat musaf, and after the prayer of musaf, asur mishum kiddush. It is forbidden to drink water because then you need kiddush. So after musaf, you need to make kiddush. For kodem musaf, what about before musaf? Ein siman reish pevav. Take a look in chapter 286. Mutar. So now he's saying, what's he going on over here? Is if you need it for healing, then it is permissible. Afilu ochlin umashkin tovim. Even good food and drink. The sharpu gaiva, that is relevant to them, that you may get arrogant from. It doesn't have to be dry crackers. Since you're not doing it because of arrogance, rather for healing. Even though he's not completely sick, share, that is permitted. How much more so, it is permissible to drink before prayer. Harakot v'shikuyim l'refuah. Harakot and shikuyim, basically different kinds of medicines for prayer, different health things. V'hara'ev, somebody who's hungry, harbe, a lot. Somebody who's little bit hungry, okay, right, deal with it. But somebody's very hungry, that's when we see him as being like an ill person. V'yishteh, and you can drink, mashmash enu mechuyav. If somebody's sick and somebody's really hungry or thirsty and they're not really sure if they're able to concentrate properly, then, as we said, it's discretionary if they're going to eat or drink. Eino mechuyav, he is not obligated, even though he's not going to be focusing properly in prayer without eating. Mira ka'amar, from the fact that he said im rotze, if he wants, ve'hata'am. The reason is mishum, because de'achshav, now, Bizman hazeh, at these times, belavachi, without this factor, ein mechavnin kol kach. We do not focus so very well. In other words, for somebody to say, today that I'm hungry, my prayer won't be 100% focused, therefore I'd better eat. Okay, look, who are you kidding? What, every other day your prayer is 100% focused. So today it'll be 40% focused, and normally it's 50% focused. You don't have to go and have that food because the stakes are not so high. Nevertheless, if he wants to eat and drink before so that he will focus, that's certainly permissible. And take a look at the Elia Rabbah. That's it for today.